Right, let's get started, shall we? Becoming healthier and fitter, sweating, competition, friendship and mutual respect, strength, agility, unity, and most important of all, proper fun for you and any spectators. That is what sport means. Let's have a look at 10 of the weirdest and most interesting forms it comes in. Number 1. Camel Racing, the Middle Eastern alternative to horse racing. Very popular in Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates and even Australia, attracting quite the crowd in said countries. It's an event for betting and tourist attraction. Now, camels have always been vital for survival for thousands of years in those regions. Not sure about Australia, but definitely in the Middle East. They were crucial for transportation, providing food and protection. Camels can run up to 40 miles per hour in short sprints and maintain speeds of 25 mph for an hour, which means camels are almost as fast as proper racehorses. Who would have thought? Watching camel races can be very entertaining for Westerners as well. Look at this! It's grace, elegance, breathtaking. Those lips flapping about gently in the hot Saudi Arabian air. Marvelous. Number 2. Wife carrying. You would expect this to be a metaphor of some sort, but it's not. We are actually talking about men carrying their wives as a competition. It was invented in Finland, home to the best rally car drivers and 95% of the world's metal bands. The sport is an annual competition, an obstacle course with the men competing and running the whole 250 meters with their wives on their backs. If you don't have a wife, good news for you. If you want to take part, you're officially allowed to borrow one of your mate's wives for the race, but only for the race. The course includes a running track, but also water-based obstacles like a meter-deep pool. The winners are the team who finish the course in the fastest time. Different carrying practices have evolved over time, such as the classic piggybacking, but also the fireman's carry or the Estonian style, where the wife hangs upside down with the legs around the husband's shoulders. Everything's allowed basically if you want to get creative. If your wife is very small and a lightweight of under 49 kilograms, a heavy backpack will be strapped to her back to increase weight and make it more competitive. If you drop her, not only will your woman make you sleep on the couch for a week, but you will also get a time penalty in the competition. Traditionally, the prize is the wife's weight in beer. Sometimes there's cash on top of it, sometimes there are other prizes. Since the sport has spread to many other countries including the US, the prizes vary depending on location. Very creative sport, takes strength, speed, manliness, endurance and teamwork. Number 3. Extreme ironing. Yes, it's to be taken literally. Again, no metaphor. An oddity of a sport like this can only be invented by the Brits and the Japanese, but it's the Brits in this case. It all started in the city of Leicester, to be precise. A sport for people who want to go to the extreme, combining exciting outdoor activities on dangerous locations with a down-to-earth sense for well-pressed clothing. What you need to become a proper ironist, as they call themselves, an unplugged iron, an ironing board, and some crumpled clothes. Extreme ironing has already been done underwater, on trees, on top of a mountain, while canoeing or surfing or snowboarding. There are neither rules nor boundaries. Apparently, it all started when a chap called Phil Shaw came home from his working day at a knitwear factory, discovered he had to do some ironing at home, but rather did it outside in his garden. When his mate Paul came along to ask what the fuck he was doing, he replied, "Extreme ironing!" He soon went on a campaign around the world, including America, the Fijis, New Zealand, Australia and South Africa, to promote his newly invented sport. There was even a documentary on it called Extreme Ironing, Pressing for Victory. There have been several competitions and there was even a proper world championship in Munich in 2002. Number 4. Cheese rolling. Hundreds of people lining up to see another British prime example of strange sports. Cheese rolling. Can it get any weirder? The full and original name of the sport is the Cooper's Hill Cheese Rolling and Wake. It's an annual event at Cooper's Hill near Gloucester in England. Originally, only the villagers of Brockworth took part, but since it gained quite some popularity, participants come from all over the world. Even The Guardian called it a world-famous event. Now, how does it work? From the top of the hill, a 9-pound round of double Gloucester cheese is rolled downwards and the competitors start racing after it. The first person to get to the bottom of the very steep hill wins. Obviously, the fun part for the spectators is, and you know if you've ever chased after something or someone down a hill, when people fall down, over and on top of each other, occasionally faceplant or break a bone or two. Originally, the winner was the one who caught the downwards rolling cheese. However, the bloody cheese wheel has a head start of 1 second and it can reach up to 70 miles per hour in speed, which is enough to kill a person if it hits the head. Therefore, nowadays, a foam replica is used. If you're interested, the current champion is a bloke called Chris Anderson, a soldier from Brockworth. Number 5. Shin Kicking. Guess what? Oh yes, Britain yet again. And once more, the clue's in the name. Holy mother of God, this must be painful. There's a bunch of rules to be considered. Contestants must wear long trousers and are allowed to cushion their shins with some provided straw. Footwear mustn't be reinforced with metal. This will be checked before and after the fight as well. And it is a serious offense. If you don't comply, you will be shot in the face and also not allowed to participate in any future shin kicking events. As the fight begins, the contestants hold each other's collar and start to kick away. The matches are observed by a referee who is called the stickler and determines the score of the match. Most contestants report this contest is all about stamina and being able to endure pain for a long period of time rather than finesse and tactics. Number 6. The Redneck Games. Oh joy! Finally a crazy sport from the other side of the pond. No overpaid world-class elite athletes or fancy venues. Just a bunch of lads and lasses, cold beer, a barbecue and many fun games to compete in. The Redneck Games started in 1996 as an alternative to the Olympic Games. Someone joked about the actual Olympic Games in Atlanta would probably be organized by a bunch of rednecks, and someone took the idea quite literally and invented this sport. Anyway, the Redneck Games were all about events such as the Mud Pit Belly Flop, which is self-explanatory, the Armpit Serenade, once won by an 8-year-old who played Mary Had a Little Lamb with armpit noises, the seed spitting contest where you don't only have to spit further than everyone else, but you also need to be able to locate your seat in the grass afterwards, and something about throwing toilet seats, which frankly I don't quite understand, but I admit it sounds brilliant. Due to some controversy about the term Olympics in the name of the sport, it had to be changed to Main Redneck Blank Games in 2013, but they also have been cancelled since then. Number 7. Ferret Legging. Haven't had a British sport in a while, have we? Another oddity and very freaky indeed. You'll need a pair of white trousers and 2 live ferrets. Underpants will not be necessary, don't worry about that. The trousers are then secured at the ankles. The ferrets will then be shoved down your pants, and with the trousers secured they can't escape, which is kind of the point of the whole thing. You are not allowed to drug yourself or the ferret before the contest. The referees are very adamant about that. Now ferrets, these little fuckers are very bitey, will turn against each other, and sooner or later there will be a point where they will make you bleed, which will then turn them into bloody ferocious beasts. Let's be clear about it. Don't even try this if you can't deal with small mammals biting your testes. It's bound to happen sooner or later. The ferret legging record was set by a Yorkshireman and is actually 5.5 hours. His comment on how to become a champion in the sport was to be able to have your tool bitten and not care. A proper test of manliness and endurance. White horses couldn't drag me into a contest of this, that's certain. Number 8. Chess boxing. It's been established in 1992. Especially England, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Russia and Japan embraced this weird combination of boxing and chess rounds. The idea is quite brilliant though. Merge 2 sports, if you want to call chess that, awfully sorry if we're offending you, that couldn't be more different into one discipline. It takes the whole thing to a new level of complexity, and contestants have to be very smart for the chess rounds and very fit and skilled for the fighting parts. The rounds of chess and boxing alternate, so there is no real point in time for your body or brain to adapt to the new requirements and stimuli. A full match has 11 rounds, 5 rounds of boxing, 6 rounds of chess, and a 1-minute break between each round. The match starts with a chess play and ends with a chess play. When you think about it, there are different approaches to a match of chess boxing. Will you prepare your body to knock your opponents out, or will you polish up your chess skills to achieve a checkmate? Number 9. Zorbing. Looks completely bonkers but equally amazing and fun. Zorbing, sometimes referred to as globe riding or sphering. There is a chuffing massive transparent plastic ball, you get inside it and you roll down a hill insanely fast. The giant ball, the Zorb, was invented in New Zealand in the mid-90s. It works on snow just as well as on grassy areas. You can do it alone, but if you're up for it, you can even board one together with a mate. Actually, it's not one big plastic ball but 2. The outer one is roughly 2.7 meters in diameter, the inner ball about 1.8 meters. Both balls are connected with hundreds of small ropes that keep them together, and the space between the balls acts as a shock absorber. A Zorb has 2 openings so passengers can enter and exit, but they also provide airflow inside the ball, which is quite important because things will go crazy in there, and you'll need the air to breathe in between your screaming. Originally the Zorb had been created to walk on water. It did work alright, but it was more a floating and wobbling about on the water since the thingy is round and you therefore have almost no control of it on the water. Since then it has been used to roll about in it on land. On a normal ride, the passenger is strapped into the Zorb. In hydrozorbing, wet rides, the passenger isn't. About 5 gallons of water are added inside the Zorb, and then the ride becomes a washing machine simulator, and the passenger is the sock. Now, it looks spectacular, but in fact this sport is known to be very safe. Andrew Akers, one of the inventors, said he hasn't ever seen any of his customers throw up in the Zorb, which is good, because imagine being marinated in your own vomit again and again and again at 30 miles an hour. Nothing you can do about it, it just goes in your face and your hair. And also, since the material is very thick, the Zorb is very unlikely to pop. If it does, you won't be going off like a balloon, unfortunately. There will just be a small leak and you will hardly notice it on your ride. Probably doesn't matter too much. A normal ride in a Zorb looks entertaining enough. Number 10. Buzkashi. A simple game for simple people. Afghan horsemen drag headless, disemboweled, dehoofed goat carcasses around to entertain the masses. Metal as fuck. Buzkashi is Persian and literally means goat grabbing. The game is quite simple. Said carcass is placed in the center of a circle. The field itself is sometimes up to 200 meters wide. The objective of the game is to take the carcass and drop it into the enemy circle. Traditionally, a match could very well go on for several days, but there is a tournament version which has a time limit. Riders usually wear heavy clothing and protection against the opposite team. The opponents usually have whips to scare both players and the horses away and keep them from scoring. During the Taliban regime, the game was banned because they considered the game immoral. After their reign ended, the Buzkashi regained its popularity. It's a bit like down-to-earth, non-pretentious polo, with bearded men instead of rich pillocks playing it. I like it. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching, subscribe if you like, and goodbye.